Trump 2024 National Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt joins us to talk about all this. Karoline, this is exciting for the American people as well. You know, of course, the media wants to know, but there are those who support Mr. Trump and his policies who are excited to see who he believes can help him carry his agenda forward. Among the 8 we've heard that he's really narrowed it down to 4 candidates: North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, Florida Senator Marco Rubio, and Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. Karoline, is this the final 4 for VP? And what more can you tell us?
Well, I'm certainly not going to confirm that on your show today. What I can confirm is that, yes, this is indeed an exciting time for our nation because President Trump is leading Joe Biden in the polls. And there are a lot of great choices from the Republican Party for President Trump's vice presidential candidate. The only person who knows who that will be right now is President Trump himself. He will make that announcement directly to the American people in due time. And what I can assure your audience is that any one of these contenders that you listed is going to be a heck of a lot better than Kamala Harris.
And we know that Mr. Trump also likes to hold things close to the vest until he's ready to share it, so he could still surprise us even at the convention itself. What's the vetting process actually like? I mean, how will the former president actually narrow down his picks? Is he looking for a particular style? Is he looking for a particular policy position?
Well, what President Trump has said himself publicly, and I will reiterate, the #1 quality in his choosing a vice president is going to be who will make a great president for our nation for the 8 years following President Trump's 4-year term. So that's a top priority for him in vetting and looking at all of these candidates. And again, there's a lot of great names on the table, any one of whom will be better than our current Vice President Kamala Harris, who actually has the lowest approval rating of any vice president in history and has contributed virtually nothing to Joe Biden's disastrous administration over the past 3.5 years.
Karoline, we also know that Mr. Trump has said publicly that he leans on those around him. He actually solicits advice from those he trusts. What traits would you like to see in a running mate for Mr. Trump? Should he solicit your advice?
Well, it's certainly not up to me. It is not up to me to tell you what I think either. I speak on behalf of the president in our campaign, and what I can tell you is President Trump will make a great decision on behalf of the American people. And any of these candidates are great Republicans who believe in securing our southern border, who believe in rebuilding our economy and our military, who believe in restoring peace around this world and ending the wars that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's administration have got us into, and bringing America back to common sense. And that is what President Trump's message is, and whomever he picks will be on board with making America great again, and we'll get hitting to the campaign trail to talk to voters as soon as possible.
Now, Karoline, we do expect that announcement to come just days after Mr. Trump is sentenced on July 11th in that criminal hush money trial in New York City. How is he preparing for the sentencing, and what is the campaign expecting, and how will you shift and handle that?
Well, the truth is we don't know what to expect. What we do know is that this case was overseen by a highly conflicted and partisan judge. Judge Merchan donated money to Joe Biden's campaign. That is a fact. Judge Merchan donated money to a group called Stop Republicans. That is also a fact. And I was in the courtroom with President Trump almost every day throughout the trial. This judge showed a severe amount of disdain and impatience for President Trump and for our legal defense team. So we will see what happens on the 11th. What I can say is that no matter what, President Trump will be in Milwaukee. He will be securing the Republican nomination in historic fashion, and he will continue with this campaign. He is more resolute than ever in his fight to make this country great again. And as you've seen in the weeks since the verdict came down, it's not slowing down our campaign at all. In fact, it has actually emboldened us to fight harder, and it's emboldened more Americans across this country to fight with us. We raised $53 million in the first 24 hours after the verdict. We raised more than $114 million in the month of May. And the most incredible part is that 30% of those donors who chipped in were new donors, have never donated to President Trump or a political party before. We've seen grassroots rallies breaking out all over this country in support of President Trump, peaceful protests everywhere from Huntington Beach, California to Staten Island, New York to New Hampshire. There is a real momentum in this country right now for President Trump because people saw this case for what it is. It's a show trial, it's election interference, and they want a president who's going to lead on the issues that matter to them, and that's what President Trump is fighting to do.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider, and don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.